Welcome to the Rock You Podcast for authors, coaches, thought leaders, and speakers. Are you ready to share your message with a bigger audience and create a better world? It's time to see you, be you, rock you.
Lana, welcome to the Rock You Podcast. I'm thrilled to have you here. As you know, I'm a big fan of yours to begin with because I love summits, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Summits today. And for those of you just joining us here on the podcast, I'm Ronnie Tsunami with Rock You. And I actually was heavily involved with summits for years. And I know of the true benefits of summits. And it was so critical for me to get this out there because I know of the ability to build your credibility, your visibility, and generate real money, right? Real revenue. With summits. And Lana, you and I, for all full transparency, we're together in the mastermind together. And Lana, when I found out about you doing this whole summit success, right, this 5-day challenge, I was like, I need you on the podcast to help coaches. So Lana, you know, we're talking about the benefits of not just being at a summit, but hosting your own summit. Tell me a little bit more about you, though. How did you get involved with even doing summits?
Oh, well, in total transparency, God bless, there is something that good has come out of the last several years of being forced to being virtual. So I will take that gift for what it's worth and honor it and appreciate it. So I signed up for a program that I knew in talking to that coach, that high level coach, he's like, you gotta get a little more visibility, a whole lot more credibility. You need to up your own confidence. And the challenge is host your own summit. And I went, okay. And in total transparency, I recruited someone because I knew I couldn't do all of this on my own. So I recruited someone to do that, took a strategy, took a stance for what this event would look like. And by the time, in total transparency, in complete transparency, by the time the summit happened, I had turned off my phone of all further notifications because I was tired of hearing the dinging and I wanted to crawl into a corner because I was overwhelmed. Having said that, there was another part of me that went, oh my God, this is a lot of fun. Like the people I got to interview and it did increase my credibility and influence. My list only a little bit, but that's okay. That's part of this journey. It did do 2 out of the 3 things. So, okay, we're on our way. So in total transparency, that was February of, we're in 21.
Oh, wow.
Time flies when you're having fun. So in a period of 2.5 months, then I pulled this event together, 20 plus speakers, did all the interviewing, hired somebody for the tech, hired somebody for the copy, learned a ton. So a year ago, July, I took a very different strategy on it, but again, a lot of speakers, a lot higher difference in their visibility, their credibility, borrowed a bunch of that for my own. Wow, what a difference. We actually had cash flow. We actually had positive cash flow. We actually grew our list. So with that said, then I did another one in February, again, slightly different strategy. In total transparency, I am planning my own again for January of this year. Having said that, I keep dialing in, I keep tweaking and going, nope, I'm never doing that part again because that didn't work the way I wanted to. So I keep polishing the stone. I've gone from coal to, yeah, we've got a diamond with a couple flaws in it, to going, I think I've got this dialed in pretty strong. And with that journey has also, because I love helping other people. And I understand what it's done for me in stepping up to the plate, the influence, the credibility, the list size stuff. I love this journey, and I want other entrepreneurs to understand it's not as crazy, it's not as zooey as wanting to crawl into the corner and cry and turn off your phone and whatever else, and that they can be successful and that you can do this. And it can be a game changer. You can grow your business slow, or you can freaking, i.e. the tsunami, can dig in and get after this. So yeah.
Right. Tsunami size. And
Yeah, that's right.
And right. Well, so I've hosted, now it's up to 11 summits in the past 3 years. So, and put together a number of summits. So I am a very big fan of summits. And that's why I said I'm a big fan of yours, because anyone that's willing to go through the fire of putting a summit together, we're comrades in arms, right? We've gone through the pain of putting together a summit, but at the risk of scaring people, right? Like, hey, did you just say pain and summit in the same sentence? The point here is, yes, there's a lot of work that goes with a summit, but it actually fast tracks a lot of things. And to be, if you don't mind, Lana, maybe you could clarify, explain to the audience here who may not understand the term summit, what we're talking about. What's the difference between a summit and a workshop, for instance, in this case, a virtual summit? And
yeah. And I don't want to, that hurts my heart, the idea that I would scare somebody off from doing this. It's like, it's painful, it's chaotic. It doesn't have to be. When you put some team players in your corner, you hire them, you recruit them, and you do something like my program that says, here's a bunch of the steps. Here's why we're going to slow it down so that you're not doing it in 6 weeks or 8 weeks and the craziness. Here's why we're setting you up for success. That's why I call it setting you and your summit up for success so it does its job. With that said, there's a bunch of parts that I don't want somebody to get in the middle of the mud puddle and go, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this.
Right.
That's why we step through it. That's why we plan through it. So it's things like getting that influence. If you've come into this, you might have transitioned your business, you might have added another certification, and your list is at 300, or maybe it's 50, or maybe it is 1,000. But most of us really struggle to get our list to be any kind of size. Most of us struggle for somebody to walk past us in a virtual room and go, who are you and what are you doing? Well, here's a whole different game where I can walk into an event that's more business to business based, and they'll go, hey, you did this event. I'm interested in that topic. Absolutely, let's talk.
yeah, that's the difference here, right? Of being a guest versus a host. Now, everyone here, for the most part in Rock U Academy, are coaches, right? Speakers, authors, thought leaders, or at least want to be thought leaders, right? We want to be recognized for that. So having that authority matters. But when you can be an authority of authorities, where you walk into a room, and even if you have, basically, I mean, we everyone talks about Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich. He actually brought together people and interviewed those people, right? And by being the person who brought these people together and interviewed them, then he built a reputation.
You betcha.
As well, right? So hosting your own summit, even if you may not be the top expert in your field,
no,
you don't have to be.
Right. You don't have to have 5 PhDs in this topic and this topic and this topic and this topic. You just have to have, somebody was asking me what makes a great host. summit host or conference host. I don't care if you call it summit or conference. It's a collection of conversations, interviews around a certain topic. That's fundamentally what it is. Virtually, that's what it is. We get into what other options. But when you can stop, and it's a little bit of a feather in your cap when somebody high in your industry goes, oh, I met that person the other day. They're quite intelligent. Ask great questions. That takes a little bit of homework time to know who you're talking to, but I have strategies for how to figure out great questions for that person and be a wonderful listener. And your hosting conversation, your interview is, oh, it's so comfortable. It's so easy. It's so engaging. And that person will go, you know what? I enjoyed this conversation. Let me know when you're doing your next one. Or maybe I'll have you on my podcast, or maybe I'll have you, I've got an event coming up. I would love for you to be part of that. Thank you. That's quite lovely of you. You don't need a bunch of PhDs. You need to have strong interest in a certain topic, which is typically your niche.
Right. In addition to the credibility, obviously you've got speakers that are within the summit, and a typical summit can range from anywhere from 14 to 20 or even 30 speakers. And
yeah, I've seen some people that are pulling off 30. I'm like, woohoo.
I mean, because in 2016, I put together a summit that had, was it 2016, had 60 speakers. Right. So that was, so now the beauty.
That's the tsunami wave coming in, buddy.
I tend to go overboard. So that's a tsunami size. Yep. But the fact is that all the speakers that were there, depending on the number of speakers, each speaker also brings in their own tribe.
That's right. It's a sharing of tribes, knowing that coming from a place of abundance, coming from a space of, I only want to share. That's all I really want to do at this moment, is just share information. There's some back-end strategies. Don't worry, you'll get some business out of the deal, both between the VIP sales and your upsell, whatever that looks like, or your offer. But more than anything, it is the sharing of tribes and wisdom. Because if we come from the space that expert A has a tribe of 10, 50, 100,000 on their list, depending on. They've got people that have never bought from them, but they don't worry about that. They just keep serving. So then speaker B or C has, maybe B has a list of 50,000. Some of those people haven't bought, but they want to share the wisdom. They want to share the wisdom. I gain credibility with the tribe I am building, the community I am building, because they hear me interview, they hear me converse. They might get tired of my voice, but they hear me over and over again conversing, and we're all sharing tribes, we're sharing information for the service of that person listening in. That's first and foremost in my heart, sharing of information to the person listening in. And then let it work itself out. It's all for good. Come with good energy, come with great intentions. It'll all work out. And some great strategy back behind all that.
Well, in addition to the information, literally just the sheer amount of people, as you said, some people have 50,000. If you as your speakers, the type of speakers or the caliber of speakers increases, you get more and more people. But that's the beauty of a summit. And I don't think people realize this often, that as the host, people have to register for your summit. So when they register for your summit, when people opt in, they're coming into your CRM. That means technically you own the list. So if you've got 20 speakers, even with just 2,000 people on the list, or let's say 100, just 100 people, but multiplied among 20, people,
You bet.
right? So
That's right.
now you've got your list just jumped up that amount. And so I've had people who did a summit with basically zero
Yep.
people on their list, but
Yep.
all the speakers had a list.
Yep.
And so they were able to build their list. I remember when that one we did the 60 speakers, we had we started with a list of 4,000 and we ended up with 22,000 or 25,000 people, right? Built up
Boom.
for a 10-day summit. And you're like,
Right.
wow, you know,
Right.
so again, tsunami size, fast track, right? And I don't think people realize how fast with no credibility. I mean, if you had no credibility, but you brought people together,
You
all
bet.
of a sudden, over 10 days, or how it can be 5,
Yep.
10 days,
Yep.
right? And then you build your list. I mean, come on, give me another thing that builds your list just as fast.
Oh, it builds your list, and they know who you are. They know who you are. I participate in gift giveaways, so I'm going to be totally transparent in this conversation. I like a gift giveaway, but at the end of you organizing a gift giveaway and finding all these people and making sure that they're promoting, you know, all your gift givers, yada, yada, the person that has joined your list really has no idea who Lana Kirtley is. They don't
Right.
know. They haven't seen me talk. They haven't heard me. They might have seen my mugshot at the top of the opt-in page. They might have seen a 2-minute video, might not have looked at it, might watched it on the thank you page. They might see it when they opt in, but once they've opted in, they don't see me again unless they've opted in for my gift as well. But a summit, a conference, they hear me every time I interview somebody. I don't do presentation styles. We're interviewing, we're having a conversation. I love it for that fact that when that poof, 25,000, you go from 4,000, sorry, to 25,000, like poof. All of those people have heard you speak or interview
Exactly.
at least one other person. There's the power of they know whose list they're on. I love
That's authority, right? As I say, credibility plus visibility equals reputation. And when you have
Yep.
reputation, people find you, or they're essentially, you've pre-sold yourself, right? Your reputation precedes you before you meet and opens doors so much faster
Oh,
for you. So I'm again, credibility plus visibility
Yep.
is a big deal with summits. Now, one of the other benefits that I know of is revenue. So let's talk about revenue. How do people make money with summits?
well, and that's the part is how do you strategize upfront your VIP tickets? What are you going to do for that? How do you make that appealing? How do you make it economical? How do people know when they opt in that this is an option? So you can play around with some parts and pieces with that, depending on how you're feeling. The first one, I never would have had the moxie to do it, but now I've got the moxie to do it and to encourage others to consider it, is sponsorship.
Mhm.
So let's step back for a second and think about speakers. If they've got a book they've just written or they're adding another program, oh my God, they want to talk about it. They want to share it. They will, say yes to you. But there's also sponsors. In the case of, let's say, Ronnie Tsunami has a new line of tech. He's got a new app out, and he's looking for business or conference summits that align with his piece of tech so that he can say, yes, I'll give you $1,500, $2,000, whatever Ronnie thinks or that host thinks that sponsorship is worth. And in return, Ronnie gets some stage time. Ronnie gets some visibility on the opt-in page. That's fair and reasonable. And that income of sponsorship helps cover your copy, helps cover your tech, helps cover some of those expenses. But if you get enough of them, you can have a little bit of cha-ching in your back pocket. And that's just part of business, is to come out with cash flow positive. Then you can turn around and possibly sell the recordings in a program.
That's the VIP.
Right.
VIP.
Right. Add it as a VIP gift that you're going to get all of these recordings or some version thereof. You can add, I really like these. I love custom USBs.
Huh.
So for me, I live in a rural community of 8,000. Okay. I'm working from home. So when I travel to see my parents, to see my chiropractor, to see my functional diagnostic nutritionist or what doctor, I've got between a 2 and a 4 to 5 hour drive. I plug this USB into my truck USB, it picks up the USB, and I get to listen to conversations. The radio's lovely. Mindless music is sometimes nice. I use this a lot when I'm traveling. So maybe that's another tech option. Some people are like, yeah, I got a drawer full of flash drives, and I'm going, no, I want a couple more. I'm to the point where if the topic is in alignment with my true interests, I'm buying the USB. So that's another aspect, is VIP, but VIP plus upsell. And then you've got your programs. So you can take all of your interviews, add a PDF to it or some such version, and you can create a program. And maybe it's a low price offer, maybe it's a higher price, depending on what kind of bucket of stew you've got to work with and what you want to do with that. And that can be an ongoing sale. That can happen that way. But then the other part that, in all transparency, I have struggled with because of confidence, because what was set up, because overwhelm, et cetera, but how do you play in to your own offer, your own upsell of your own program? It's your stage. You get to sell from stage. Nobody else gets to sell from stage. You can talk about what they do, but I prefer that nobody else sell from stage. But I can set up. It's not sleazy. It's not slimy. You've busted your butt. Find a way to offer to those people. If you're interested, book a call. If you're interested, buy in. Here's a special offer during the summit that goes away at a certain price time. TikTok. Are you interested in working further with me? So right. That you can do the upfront sales, you can do the, after sales, that sort of thing. Plus, your email system to all of these opt-ins is letting them know who you are, what's going on, and you can nurture them, and there will be future sales. But during that time, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah,
Turn
I
off
don't think
your PayPal notification, because you don't need, it's kind of exciting, but it's kind of like, oh, for the love of God.
I don't think people realize how much you can gain revenue wise, because especially for coaches who have been just speakers, right? You only see one side of it. As a speaker, there are summits I've hosted where the speakers can promote their product, but I'm signed up as an affiliate as the host. So now you're making, so let's count the ways. One, you said it first, sponsorships. You can charge $1,500, $5,000. I've had summits where people were charging $10,000 to be a part of to sponsor a summit. That's one way.
Yep.
You tend to need a popular summit to where people are like, okay, that's got a lot of people. I'm going to sponsor that. Two, you can sell the VIP tickets. The VIP ticket is where someone gets the recordings. They can't attend all the days.
And they get access to all the, PDF links and
the
that
giveaways,
sort of thing. Ongoing lifetime access type.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So they do. And you sell that for between $97 to $197 typically. Right? The third way was, as you said, selling your own product. You are the host. You can do it. So if you've got 20 speakers, after 20 speakers or in between the talks, you have the ability to promote your own gift or own giveaway, right?
Yep.
And then I like this one. You talked about you could take the recordings and essentially create another course just out of the recordings, right? Add your PDF, add the content, and sell that. And then, as I just mentioned, the affiliate commission also, because if you've got 20 speakers and they're all selling some product, and as people attend that, when people buy you, because they're using your affiliate link, you get anywhere from 20 to 50% commission on some of these products. That's a lot of revenue opportunity by being the host of your own summit.
And then one more, anybody that sponsors, because in my world is health and nutrition, adrenal fatigue, trauma, whatever, stress. I'm looking for some of my sponsors for this next one will include supplement companies, whether it's magnesium or whether they have a great big range. When they go and somebody says, oh, I really want that product, I'm really interested, there's an ongoing affiliate commission because I've set up a deal with them. It might only be 5 or 10%, but if that person has become a long-term client and my name is properly tagged with that client, nice little cash every month, a little check, maybe a bigger check, depending on what you're dealing with.
Right.
It all adds up.
And all of that is because you are the host. Does everyone understand that? You are the host of a summit. That means you get to partake in all of these revenue generating opportunities. Now, that all sounds nice and great, but as you said, there's a lot of coordination. There's a lot of work that goes into it.
Your dad's and all sorts of, you're going to learn the tango when holy schmacker, I didn't know I could tango.
You got to deal with finding speakers. You got to coordinate with the speakers. You got to handle all the tech, right? Because how do you record them?
You got to record it and then you got to edit your recording.
Edit recordings, you got to post them. You got to have a website that airs this. People got to be able to register.
You do this a lot. You can do this a lot, so Reddy, you understand when I'm going, just find your breath,
No.
You breathe.
But Lana, I know you're helping people. So tell them more about that. I understand you're doing a 5-day
challenge.
Right,
I don't like the word challenge. It's exploring. Sorry, for those listening in or re-listening, I've gone through adrenal fatigue. I do not need more challenges in my life. I need less. So that's why I am helping individuals explore what their summit might look like. So, because if you've never considered it, what's it take? So we spend 5 days exploring some of the topics, going, oh, that's what happens. Oh, now I understand. Oh, and maybe possibly you might say that Lana chick is way out there. I don't want to hang out with her. Or you might go, you know what? I want to do a summit. Might as well be successful versus stumbling through it on your own and in the dark. Lana's got a bucket, and from truly within me, I have busted to go, what would I have liked? What do I need? What does someone need to have a successful summit? And I have pulled resources together, and I've pulled wonderful people together, and I've pulled web pages together, and I've pulled copy together, and I've pulled invites together, and I've pulled spreadsheets together. And that's all part of what my offer will be at the end of the 5 days. But initially, let's just explore the possibility of your summit/conference and what it could mean for moving the needle on your business quickly. Not doing a freebie, which I love freebies. I absolutely love freebies, but it takes a long time to test them, to get the right one, to get the right verbiage, to get it in gift giveaways. And lots of gift giveaways cost some money to play. Dive in at the same time going, okay, if I'm going to build this business, let's get after it, kind of like a tsunami wave. Let's freaking ride the wave versus get washed over, and let's play. And that's the 5 days we talk about, who would you invite as a speaker? What might you name it? What are going to be the things that'll bite you in the backside if you don't have some support, some awareness of what this all takes to happen and be effective, be successful.
Lana, what are the dates for the summit? You said it's a 5-day summit. So when did
Yeah.
it start?
November 7th to 11th.
November. So it's all done online.
Yep, it's all done virtually. So you'll receive an email in the morning as soon as you register, and we'll get a link that is strictly for Ronnie and your tribe, your crew, to register. So then when you register, we'll start conversations, and then Monday, November the 7th, you'll get an email. There will be a video within a Facebook group, and inside that group, there'll be a post or the same post that says, so very quickly, the videos will be, obviously I can chatter, but I will keep them under 4.5 minutes. That is my promise. So it's 4.5 minutes of listening to the topic. It's maybe right off the top of your head going, oh, I know what my answer is to today's question or today's insightful thinking process. I'll put my answer in and carry on with the day. That's how each day will fundamentally run. Now, if you're available, I'm in Mountain Standard Time, noon Mountain Standard Time every day. I'll go live back into the group, Q&A. Ask me your questions. Going, I didn't understand. I want further clarity. How do you proceed with this? And I'll try and answer to the best of my ability. And we'll go through those 5 days. And during that time, you can go, she's a weird chick, but I really want to host a summit, or she's not that bad. I think I can tolerate her for, whatever that program time is, and the support. If you say yes to the program and working with me, I do not leave you hanging until your summit is wrapped up and complete. You will have my support. I will be available. And I've collected people together that can help us with most all of our challenges during that time.
So during the 5 days, as you called it, the exploration,
Yep.
people who are interested in, if you're interested in exploring the idea of doing summits, what some of your topics could be around for that summit, then this is the 5-day challenge to take.
Yep.
This is one.
Yep. Yeah.
To help
So we
you.
talk about, I'm just going to get my list because I've got so much chatter. We might talk about, what would you name it? What would it be about? What kind of experience would you like your participants to have? So those that opt in, other than just saying, well, they just listen to a speaker. What other experience do you want them to have? What is your niche? What is your interest? Who would you invite for speakers? What do you want your new list to know about you? Because you're creating this environment of welcoming them in. Think of it like opening the door to your house. Not my house right now, because there's lots of piles of papers all over the place. But when I open my doors, what kind of experience do I want them to have about Lana and what she's offering in the world, what her jam is about? And then, let's be totally honest, what are going to be some of the challenges that hold you back from succeeding? Because we need to really watch our own personal energy during that journey, during that time. Because I want you to succeed, for the love of goodness. Short of being a drug cartel leader that you want to do a summit on, I just want you to succeed.
Well, that's why it's called Summit Success. We'll put the link in the description of this podcast. But Lana, I'm really looking forward to being. I want to attend this 5-day challenge. Number one. And I want everyone that's listening to this, every coach, speaker, author, I cannot stress enough the power, the benefits of doing a summit. And you don't have to have a ton of experience or be an authority or have a list of 10,000 people when you start. You can literally start with zero authority, zero list to get a summit going and fast track your rise in terms of credibility, visibility, and as we mentioned, revenue. So Lana, let's help these change makers do it.
Yes.
Host their own summit. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Lana, so much for being a part of the podcast.
Thank you.
All right, guys, take care. Be you, rock you. Take care.
Bye-bye.